Good day, my friends. Make sure you pay attention to what's happening right now. Make sure you keep track of what's happening right now. Make sure you remember where we were, where you were, where all of us were, because it is about to blow up at levels that I don't think anybody can truly understand. And I'm going to say this. If you're brand new to this, if you're brand new, and I'm running across a lot of people who kind of ventured into this whole business, because there's so many levels. There's Epstein, there's Candace, there's Erica, and now there's that I'm going to just call it that pizza thing, because I don't even know what's allowed and what's not. That is blowing up. I just did a spaces with my good friend Ben Swan and a host of others. Richard Gage from Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. I mean, all of these folks who were a part of our initial family when we started this. Remember, this is like we were part of the band. People are coming out in droves feeling almost vindicated. I want you to understand this, and it's very important that you grasp how we're doing this, which is very important, I think. By the way, NJL is a new member. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. First, it's very easy to take what's going on and to extrapolate it. Let me give you an example. I only talk about things that there's proof of. I don't use my fecund imagination just to fill in the blanks. Let me give you an example. Maybe this might help you. I know that people they will say this all the time. Epstein was Mossad. Okay? They will say this. And you're probably right. There's probably, it wouldn't surprise me, but there is no evidence. Let me just say that. So hold off on that. People are listening to you to find out, are you sounding crazy? There's evidence right now, people talking about, for example, in this Epstein drop, that they say that Joe Biden left, that he passed in like 2019, and that this is a guy with a mask. Hold off on that. Don't say it's necessarily true. Just hold off. It is critical that people do not think we're crazy. Because they do think we're crazy. Because this is new to them. They've never, ever dealt with this before. Candace Owens, bless her heart, she says she was in grade school or middle school during 9/11. She's just getting to Atta's passport. She's finding this out for the first time. When you don't know these stories and you hear them, you sound insane. Like I said, thank you, United We Divided there. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I was talking about that pizza thing, okay? And there were people who talked about this from day one. Ben Swan, whom I've known forever, was on conventional, I think Atlanta TV, and he reported on this, thinking, this is something you want to know. Not only did they vilify this guy, I think they stripped him of everything there was. And he just, I don't understand it. And I said, what is the problem? It's not making things up. It's like, what if I told you there was a place where heads of state were actually giving secret Nazi signals to each other and speaking in this weird language of Nazism? You don't think that's relevant? So why is John Podesta writing letters about pizza and hot dogs? And it sounds crazy. If you've never been involved in this, if you've never researched this, if you're a newbie, if you're a tyro, if you're brand new, all of this sounds nuts. So when you explain this to people, go easy. Work your way in. Make sure you know what you're talking about. I'm very scrupulous when it comes to this. Certain things could be, I wouldn't be surprised. I just have to tell you that. Because everybody today, I was saying, Mossad. I said, where are you getting this? It's like people who are new in this get so excited. It's like they're trying to find the plot of the next Sopranos or something, and they think that, well, we're going to go with this, and then our next version of this, Epstein is going to be offed by a contingent of hired assassins from Mossad, and yeah, that's it. That's good. That I think no, there's no evidence of this. Yeah, but I like that. It's like, well, you might like that, but stick with what we know. Stick with what we know. That's all. I'm telling you. It's great as it is. Another thing I want to tell you. If you're trying to convince people, how do I say this? Lay off some of the religion. Thank you, Jeff May. Lay off the religion. If all of a sudden you said, well, in the second book of Stilticus, Jebediah told Nimrod, it's right there. Caiaphas told the Samaranians, see? And people would say, excuse me, I don't read, I don't know what you're saying. Well, too late. I'm not saying it's not valid. Stick to facts. That's all. The religious aspect is fantastic. And when you're talking to people who are of your faith, great. These are just rules. I'm not saying there's not anything, but I hear people have this wonderful chance to make the argument and they blow it with referencing things that's like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to go there. It's a very, very simple thing. First and foremost, let's make sure we understand something. Candace Owens is everything. She turbocharged the Epstein dump. Don't you love that? The Epstein dump. There's got to be a better way to say that. It all went. I don't know why. I don't know why. All I know is things were pretty dull for a while there until she came along. It started with TPUSA and that complete grifter, phony Erica, the beauty queen, who has the depth and the sincerity and the believability of a thimble, okay? This is what we're talking about. She's unbelievable. How anybody can listen to her for a minute, okay? Candace loves, as a friend, Charlie Kirk. She started blowing apart everything from this preposterous assassination theory, the ridiculous narrative, Tyler Robinson, and these list of freaks from the TPUSA hierarchy, all worried about keeping a corporate board going 6 days after the slaughter of their leader and the husband of this woman. Candace was off and running, and they came after her, and then the Macrons came after her, and everybody came. Candace just went through the roof. And I love the fact that what first attracted me was when somebody said, "You're crazy." She's crazy. I'm in. I never met a crazy person yet. And today she's talking about 9/11. Oh my God. Be still my heart. Be still my heart. Okay, next. Epstein. I don't know why. Where did this come from? Who okayed this? I have no idea. I don't know. Why did they write these things? Why did they say these things? Why did Podesta write in these weird phrases about hot dogs and pizza? And why are you doing this? Why is a grown man? Do you think you're fooling anybody? You're John Podesta. You were he did, I think it was American, not Enterprise, but anyway. Why is somebody saying, did you get the pizza? Does it have cheese? What about without cheese? Did you get the hot dogs? Does a hot dog have onions on it? Is it rare? Why are you, what is this party you're talking? Oh no, you're not fooling anybody with this code. And you know what somebody said? Well, they changed the code because some weird 4chan group picked up and said, don't talk. Great. So they went from pizza and hot dogs to kumquats and onion rings. Why are you doing this? And the first rule, my friends, if you're new to this, is you have to understand something. The elite people, I'll use that term loosely, the elite people they feel themselves bulletproof. They don't care about you. You can't hurt them. You can't do anything to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? They can't do anything. They're better than you. They're smarter. They went to better schools. You know what I mean? They're better. They don't have to worry about this stuff. You have to worry about it, but they don't. This is John Podesta. They don't care what you think. You really have to understand this. No. Let me tell you something. They're better than you. They're in charge of various governmental agencies, and it's their show. And you can scream all day long with your little protest or whatever. They don't care about you. And when you get too close to the truth, they will turn on you. And they will turn everybody from WikiLeaks, or Wikipedia rather, to whatever. So this is something, so understand these rules. I don't know why they do this. Why don't they use a burner phone? Why am I in my office talking about some weird pizza? What am I, a child? I'm talking about a pizza party come on. Why? Because they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't. I don't understand why. I remember in the kind of like the 80s, there were people who were so involved in the cocaine world, they thought everybody did it. They thought it was cool. They'd go to a restaurant, they do a blow on the bar and this, they had the fingernails. I said, why are you doing that? They had a razor blade. And they would just do it in the open because they figure, well, everybody does this, right? No, not everybody does this. That's what they think. That's what they think. Next rule, do not expect anybody to be prosecuted. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do not expect anybody to be prosecuted. You don't want prosecution. They're not going to crack rocks upstate. It's not going to happen. What you want is this: exposure and embarrassment. You want Bill Gates to be so exposed, he is such a liability, he's a walking joke. That's what you want. You want him to be treated like a joke because he's a joke. All he's got is his, quote, credibility. Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Every now and then, people will come up with stuff, and I am convinced that they are agents provocateurs. All right? They are people who don't really mean it. For example, Epstein's not dead. Okay. All right. Well, there was a picture of his ear, and when they took him out of the bed, that ear was different and the oracles were different. Okay. So that's not him. That's somebody else. Okay. And where do you think Epstein is? I don't know. They said the same thing with, remember when they said this to John Kennedy Jr.? He's alive. He's alive? Oh, yeah, he's alive. He's alive. And is his wife alive too? What are you talking about? Well, could be. The original Titan says the Clintons shouldn't have been given a closed-door deposition as many times as Bill was at the island. Well, that's true. But what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to say, okay, I was there, I saw animal sacrifice, but no. What do you think is going to happen? What? Is he going to bring Hillary Clinton up and what, in front of Congress? He's going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. Weren't you there? Yeah, I was there. I was there at the island. Yeah, so what? Ethel Kennedy was there. Stephen Hawking was there. What are you talking about? There were kids there. People were there. People brought their kids. Bobby. What do you think is going to happen? People always have that. Well, you know, I want to get them wanted to testify. Testify to what? And then there are people who just love to go off into the weeds. Yeah, Epstein's alive. That's it. It's not him. He's alive. How do you know that? Because of the ear. When they took him out of his cell, the New York Post and others had a picture of his ear. But you can see clearly that the ear doesn't match. It's not him, it's somebody else. Do you believe that? It's like, no, I don't know if I believe it, but it's something I say because I want to stand out in my group. You sound like a nut when you say that. No. It's like, for example, that would give credence. Well, did Epstein self, harm? And the answer would be no. Why? Because that's not Epstein. It's like, does your dog bite? That's not my dog. That kind of a thing. Get away from this. Then there's the Mossad thing. Oh my God. They just love this. They think this is I think they're sporting wood. Sporting a chub. Whenever they hear Mossad, you know what I think it was? It was a Mossad group. That's it. That's it. And Epstein was Mossad, don't you? Why do you do this? Why? You sound like this little kid, not you, but others, who just love this secret agent stuff. I have gleaned so much wisdom from you over the years. Thank you for what you do and how you do it, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. In Israel, everything is connected to their intel. Call it Aman, which is their military intel, Shin Bet, which is their FBI, Mossad, which is their CIA, whatever you want. Go there. I mean, if you ever went, if you're on El Al, from the time you get off there, start talking. The guy who's talking, taking your ticket, the whole country is wired for. It's an intel. It is an intel agency surrounded by a country. Everything they do, everybody from the guy at the desk, the one who's pumping the gas, it's another mindset. And you can say whether it's out of paranoia or whether it's a deep commitment to the notion that they have to be forever vigilant. I don't know. But to them, they say, yeah, Mossad, yeah, okay. It's like CIA or something. Same thing with Russians. Remember when they would use the word FSB? Well, now it's FSB, but they would say, are you KGB? They were proud of that. He goes, yes, I was KGB. You were? We look at it as negative. I don't know what that is. Then you get these people who love this. When you talk about... Let me give you the story about kids, okay? Just for a second. Since time immemorial, in villages, in civilizations, in groups, I don't know what it is. I don't understand what they get out, the jollies they get out of doing this, but it is disgusting and vile. These humans, they are vile. And for reasons I don't really understand, they go after, they're into sacrifice or children or their blood or whatever. We can go back and you can spend all the time from the beginning of time. Why they do this, I don't know. Is it because a lot of these rich people love to get into that, that, hey, listen, would you like to go to a party, like a Kubrick party? What do you mean? I mean, these people are wild. Have you ever been involved in that? Lady Gaga, they make fun of it all the time. Did you see this? Go to my YouTube, not YouTube, my Twitter at Lionel Media. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at Stephen Colbert talking about children's child sacrifice. Look at they do these things with Lady Gaga. Look at the spirit cooking Abramovich. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. If I did blackface all the time, if you came to my party and everybody's dressed up in blackface, you say, "What are you doing?" Oh no, it's not. It might be inappropriate, but it's just we're kind of funny about that. Okay. Come to the next party. I'm in blackface again. Say, what are you doing? I know. I'm funny about that. What's with you in the blackface? And he did it again and again. And every time you turn around, I got him in blackface. I'm doing a thing and this and the cakewalk and you see, like minstrel shows. How long can I possibly tell you? I'm not racist. I'm just into the No, you've got some fixation in belittling black people in these historically unfortunate references. There are people who have statues. One of them was in the style of a Jeffrey Dahmer victim. You know who that is, right? Now, can we get this out of our system? Can we say that, I don't know. I don't know why. You can guess. If you spend too much time worrying about that, you start to sound a little weird yourself. I don't care why they do it. We're going to get to the bottom of this. There's something going on here. Very, very odd. And they're very, very sick. And they make no bones about it whatsoever. They do nothing. They have absolutely no interest whatsoever in hiding this in the least. For reasons I don't know. And we can talk about this. Then there are people who love to talk about tunnels, submarines. You know, Ghislaine Maxwell was a submarine pilot. She was in the submarines, and this was a submarine. You know, they were, of course, that's trafficking. It's like, where are you getting this from? Well, because they had a submarine. But what are you, under the water? She's on the line. You got her ship. Who needs a submarine? I remember here in New York when the Comfort came. The West Side Highway is right there. I'm pointing to it. When the Comfort came, they said, there's a tunnel, and they're bringing in children on the boat. They say, what is with you in these tunnels? They love the tunnels. Remember, was it Wayfair? Or remember how they had, it was a Wayfair? Remember they had pieces of furniture, a chiffon robe, or an armoire. That's $25,000 because there were supposedly kids stuck in this. And it's like, listen, you've got to really ask yourself, why are you focused on this stuff? Let's address it, but get to the bottom of it. You just want to talk about it. There's something weird about somebody who just keeps, all they want to do is talk about it. So when you do this, it makes you sound weird because people almost have like a gleam in their eye. Like, yeah, and you know what else they do? Jesus. Okay, you're right. That's important, but take it easy. Take it easy. Now, here's the good news. Let me just get that out of the way. Everything is coming apart. Everything. Epstein, this is why they waited. Again, why now? I don't know. Did Pam Bondi have anything to do with it? Well, maybe, kind of, sort of, yeah. But I think it's wonderful. I think it is beyond wonderful. It is so terrific, so great, so fantastic. The fact that we're doing this, the fact that we're talking about this. And we have to keep this going. We have to have our own tribunals. Remember years ago there was the Russell Tribunal, and there was the Russell Tribunal and the Sartre Tribunal. After World War II, the Vietnam War, they went around the country and the world asking, why did we have a Vietnam War? And it was fantastic. Brilliant minds. We need to do this. We need to deconstruct this. How did this happen? Do me a favor. Raise your right hand. Forget Washington. Forget politicians. Forget the FBI. Forget DOJ. Forget it. Forget it. Forget all of them. They're not going to do anything to help us in the least. Nothing. They are of no use to us. They are of absolutely no use. None. It doesn't matter. I wish I could tell you these things, but I can't because I don't know why. But let me just tell you this much. Look at this. Epstein was probably a Russian spy. Can you believe this one? Now the Telegraph is saying he was with, they're just having a ball with this stuff. Keep talking about it. What we're going to do is we're going to do this very simply. We're going to take all of the documents, all the pages, all the pictures, all the videos, everything. And we're going to run it through some great chat GPT or some good, a legitimate AI program, and we're going to break it down. We are going to break it down into levels of Levels of complexity, we're going to know all the pages, all the people, everybody listed, what they said, where they were, catalog it, cross-catalog it. I want to know everything that happened. And I want to ask all the questions. And what I want to do is I want to have something similar to a Russell Tribunal, where I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, watch us on YouTube or wherever it is. And I want everybody around the world to tune in the way people are going to watch Bad Bunny on the Super Bowl. And I want to have prosecutors, experts put on the evidence. Not the commentary about Mossad and and I know you're going to hate this, but I'm going to tell you something. If you're trying to explain to people, leave out words like satanic. There's no evidence of Satan. There isn't. You might think there is, and you might not be wrong. But when you're talking about Hillary Clinton, I'm trying to lure people into our side who've never thought about this before, who may have even, maybe they liked Hillary at first. Calling her satanic isn't going to work. Now, I know that's a problem because people say, but she is satanic. I say, no, you don't know this. Oh, well, yes, I do. No, you don't. I promise you, you don't know whether she's of Satan's spawn, the evil seed. Is she Luciferian? Stick with the facts of the matter. Don't read into this. Don't read and talk about this. I hear people and they go wild. Do Hollywood, let me ask you this question. Does Hollywood and has Hollywood used secret hand signals, symbology, references to the occult and this, and does Abramovich and spirit cooking and the cannibalization, exsanguination, vampirism, blood ceremonies, does this occur? Has this been a part? Absolutely. Absolutely. These people, if you put your hand on and you wave and they catch your hand with your palms down, they will say, that's a Nazi salute. And you say, what? Yes, it is. We saw it. Okay. If somebody does one of these things and it has been done by everybody from Anton LaVey down to, if that's true, and you say, hey, why is JD doing this? They say, you're crazy. What is with you and these symbols? Excuse me, you were the one who thought he was a Nazi. He just says he waved. You see how they can't have it both ways. So what you're going to say is, you're going to say, no, I'm not suggesting this is satanic, but can I show you something? This happens to be done. These are some actual Satanists, and they will tell you, yes, that's what we do. When you take the particular words that Mr. Podesta used, I can bring in people who are child predators, who they say, yes, these are the words that we use. I think 4chan, all those people, they were the ones who actually exposed Podesta at first, because nobody knew what this stuff was. And this was brought to you by WikiLeaks. Okay? That's how that works. You're also going to have this pedo. Look. Do you want to be correct with this? It's up to you. If that's a word you want to use, fine. It's okay. It's like using murder for any kind of death. No, that's not murder, that's manslaughter. There are certain technical points. This particular referencing word that everybody's using deals with an attraction, a form of sexual attraction. See what I'm saying? It's an attraction. Let me say it again. This file word deals with philia, from the word love of. It's an attraction. It doesn't mean predator. It means somebody who's turned on by this, who fantasizes about it, who may not do anything about it, who just, in his mind, there are people who have cannibalism fantasies. It was a New York City cop. As far as we know, he's never been a cannibal, but he's got these weird, that's a fantasy. That's an attraction. You can't put people in prison because they have an attraction, or because they like something, or because they're attracted to it, or something turns them on. The moment you do something and you cross the line and you hurt a child, that's what we're talking about. Do you know years ago when the mob was in a lot of porn and some stuff was pretty rough stuff, some of them said, well, if it makes money, what are we going to do? I don't think they would be in that PDF file as the code word. They weren't into that. They were in for the money. So let me just tell you something. Let me just say something. If you're going to present your case before a grand jury or the world, get your facts straight. Get your facts straight. Because anybody, let me ask you something. There's somebody who commits SA, a particular type of assault against a woman, who commits some kind of sexual battery. Would you call him a heterosexual? Well, would you? Would you say this is what heterosexuality? He's attracted to women. We're not talking about he attacked a woman. Yeah, but he's attracted to women. What are you bringing up attracted for? That's not what we're talking about. Physical attack here. I don't care whether he's attracted or not. You see what I'm saying? We insist upon saying this. Like we use the word conspiracy. We use the word conspiracy all the time. It's incorrect. Conspiracy is an agreement between two or more people. It describes an agreement. It doesn't mean crazy. It doesn't mean off the charts. Words matter. I want you to sound really smart. I want people to be afraid of us, because I want to put the word on. I want to put the evidence on to the average American. By the way, have you seen this Savannah Guthrie case with her mother? And I don't know if anything's changed, but they believe she was kidnapped and they're holding her hostage for Bitcoin. You can't make this stuff up. We'll talk about that one day, because that's just stupid. How you think you're going to get away with this? I hope the mother is not dispatched. But anyway, I changed the subject. Next point. People, are unable to handle a lot of facts. They jump into something in the middle of it and they're saying, what is this? What is this? What are you talking about? I was listening before. It was a great piece that my friend Ben put on, and it was from Spaces, Spaces, all these people talking. And if you just tuned in and you're talking about almond sauce and symbols for this and Hillary Clinton and ping pong, and you're going to say, what are these people talking about? This is insanity. What are you saying? So that's why you got to take at least a week to spend some time going through this. It's worth your while. I'm telling you. Now that we got all the provisos out of the way, all of the warnings and all of the cautionary tales, listen to me. This is the greatest day that I personally have experienced, because in my wildest dreams, I could not think that everything was coming apart this fast, this powerfully, this loudly, this is incredible. Tonight, Candace Owens, and let me also say something. Again, God love her. You should see people sometimes write me. I think they're jealous of her. I swear to God, I think they're jealous of her. I swear to God, I think they're jealous of her. I think they really have I don't know what it is. I just don't think they like her. And I think that I don't know what it is. But she has done more to bring more people to the dance, so to speak, than anyone. She has made so much, how do I say this? So much, she's made it so available in terms of the evidence. Now, there are so many people also who are on various platforms who, God bless them. God bless these people for bringing this forward. I've got to tell you this much that I don't do. I'm not going to take what Candace says, copy it, strip it, scrape it, put it on my site, and take credit for it as I discuss what she said. It's like, wait a minute. That's her thing. Why am I Why am I? No, I'm commenting on it. No, you're not. She's doing all the heavy lifting. You're saying, oh, that's a good point. It's like these great cop videos. One guy puts a video on, and everybody comments on the person commenting on. So I don't know where this has gone. Maybe it's a YouTube thing. But there are so many folks. I like people who just tell me, like, tell me what you think. I've seen the video a million times. Why are you showing me this again? Are you just taking up time? This is Candace's work. Why are you doing that? It's just a personal thing for me. I just don't do that. I'd rather tell you what I think. I'd rather have somebody listen to me because you've seen this before. You don't need me to, you know what I mean? I don't get that. But I will tell you this, and this is the most important thing in the world. I've never seen anything like it. Those people involved in these pizza folks, remember that? I think these folks may have thought, you know what? That was a close one. We better watch what we're saying. We'll go after these people and we'll shut them down. And some people went a little bit berserk. And I don't want to be enticed into this tantalizing reality of maybe we can go back to the way it was when the internet was great, when it was just Wild West stuff. Maybe. I hope so. I hope so. God bless Elon Musk, what he's doing. Oh my God. What Elon Musk is doing, it's some of the most, it's, the other night I was doing, as you know, I do a show on overnights on WABC, which is fun. And that's a different audience completely. If I were to talk about this, a lot of them would say, I don't know what you're talking about, because they have no interest in Epstein or going through, Podesta. That's not their thing. It's not because they're stupid, or it's just a different, they're more into cable news and conventional heritage news and that sort of thing. And I want you to hear me out. I lost my mind when I heard somebody say Don Lemon is not a journalist. Don Lemon is not a journalist. You know what I'm saying? Did you hear this? Don Lemon is not a journalist. So who is Don Lemon thinking he can avail himself of the First Amendment because he's not a journalist? And there are people who are on TV who say he's not a journalist because he's not on a station. He doesn't have an ID card on a lanyard. He doesn't work. He doesn't have hair and makeup. So that's not journalism. He's not one of these morons, these jadruls on local TV pretending to be, I don't know what he's trying to pretend himself to be. That's journalism. Oh, that's a different story. But Don Lemon isn't? No. Let me tell you something. Look at what we're doing right now. Look at this. This is the most powerful information platform anybody could ever imagine. This knows no comparison in the real world. Nothing. And some of the big, did you get that? Some of the big channels have more people watching in just an episode than the entire dayside schedule of CNN. And these people are saying they're not journalists. Why? Because they don't have a press card, or they don't have a show. Bullshit. This is journalism, or whatever you want to call it. This is it. I can do more in front of you right now. I can go uninterrupted. Think about this. No commercials, no nothing. No news, sports, and weather. I don't have a lot of people talking and interrupting. I'm talking to you right now for 39 minutes straight, uninterrupted. I'd like to see some of these people done it. This doesn't qualify? What do you call this? Wow, that's just, you're not, I mean, come on. You're not, you don't even sound, listen to your voice. You sound like Joe Pesci on helium, or Curly Howard on Ben Street. It's my favorite. Who do you can't, bullshit. Pardon my French. This is it, my friend. I know more people right now, more people like you, who are motivated and committed to this particular subject matter than anybody watching CNN or any of these other stupid shows or any of these cable news shows. And those cable news shows, both left and right, want to keep you out of it because they are committed to shutting you down. They want to maintain the narrative. They want to make sure, this is important, that you understand you better back off. You better back off and not touch these people. Because if you want to get into the Podestas and the Hillary Clintons, you don't understand. Those stations are hanging on by a thread. I mean by a thread. What Zaslav is going to do with just Discovery or CNN alone, I mean, he's going to gut the place. They don't know what to do. They have no idea what the hell they're going to do. So they take orders and they say, do not talk about 9/11. Do not talk about anything about child sacrifice and cannibalism and all this. Do not bring this up. You, on the other hand, love this. Why? Because it's true. You're not some child. You're not thin-skinned. You want to know the truth. Brutal, double-barrel truth. 18 karat. Just tell me the truth. We are the future. We are it. They don't understand this. They don't understand this. There's more of us than them. So just keep this in mind. And we're very funny. A lot of us. We're very funny. We can argue about, I don't know what it is. You've got these stupid, mentally retarded, radical left people who are going to be, when is that King's thing, honey? When is it, May? What? In March. They're doing this no king stuff again. Are any of them ever marching for children? Children. Remember the expression, women and children first? No, they're not doing it. None. They don't care about it. It's ridiculous. What? Because they figure, well, if you want to talk about child predation, we don't. I thought people cared about kids. I told you a story, and maybe you saw it today. When I was a prosecutor, you go through different levels. Intake was like the first one. This is where people just showed up and you don't know what the hell you were doing. Traffic, misdemeanor, and felony. Everybody wanted to go to felony, but before felony was misdemeanor, was a juvenile. And juvenile was dependency and delinquency. Delinquency were crimes. If committed by an adult, would be a crime, but if committed by a child, it's called a delinquency. It's the same thing. But the other one is dependency. Abuse, neglect, or abandonment of children. And I saw some of the stuff. I saw things that they did to kids that you can't believe. And I saw this one time. It was this fellow friend of mine, a colleague, he's standing outside the courtroom, and he's reading this piece of paper. And it's like he got the worst news in the world. Like his mother died, his goldfish died, a Dear John letter, all rolled up into one. I said, what's the matter? He said, here, read this. And the medical examiner was the one who looked at and examined kids, because they would oftentimes have to testify in court. They were into forensics, so they knew how to testify. It was an infant who had been apparently violated by their parents. And there's one particular I can't tell you the name of it, but there's a certain physiological response that they did not have. An example of a destroyed musculature and reaction after years of abuse, where they couldn't control certain things. And I couldn't believe what I was reading. It says their child. Who looked at a child? And that's what I realized. I am not of these people's DNA. Rick says, I got rid of cable 10 years ago and I realized every news outlet was lying. Keep up the great work, my friend. Thank you, sir. Cable? I don't even know what cable is. I'm a weird duck, my friend. Things stick with me. I'll never forget that. Never forget that. Never forget that as long as I live. And I swear to God, if there's any way I can remind everybody, I wish I could go into a crowded auditorium, and not now, but tell them specifically, let me tell you what I read. You tell me if that doesn't affect you. It makes me determined to do this. This is not political. It's personal. It's like the opposite of Michael Corleone. No, Sonny. He said, oh, it's his business. No, this is business, personal. When I heard Candace talking about 9/11 and the ridiculous stories about Muhammad Atta losing his passport, the passport, which again, here's a plane. By the way, here's a prehistoric shark's tooth. Isn't this great? Can you see the serrated? Can you see the teeth? You probably can't. Anyway, this is from someplace. But imagine this is a plane, and it's flying into a building. Now, in this plane, there is a man named Muhammad Atta. And somehow, while he's in this plane, he threw the passport out the window. There was a hole in the window, and it fell, and it was on the ground, and people said, oh, okay. That's when I realized people are also stupid, because they say they love to hear the official narrative. And I was here on 9/11, and I remember that time, and my wife and I were both here. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate this, my friend. And we were here that day, and guess what happened? We couldn't believe what we saw. And that was my red pill. I'll never forget this. Now, am I a conspiracy theorist? No. I mean, unless there's a conspiracy, if that's the issue. So I make no apologies. None. And to a lot of people who thought they were doing a good job, like Ben Swan and others, he's on an Atlanta TV station. You know, the cojones to do this. He said, this is what's going on. Remember, if there was a pizza outlet or some outlet, or there were people in the government sending swastikas to each other, you'd want to know about that as well. That's what we're talking about right here. That's what we're talking about. So let's remember one thing. Stick with me, kid. We're gonna go through this. Stick with me, but understand the big picture. You're gonna go through and you're gonna see interstitial moments, little atomized, little granular facts about this, and this. Put it all together, and look what we have. And by the way, the effect of this in Europe has been devastating. Not so much here in this country, for reasons I don't understand. We care about Bad Bunny, the Super Bowl. You know, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl except for Bad Bunny, because I want to see how bad Bad Bunny is, because they told me not to watch him. These morons are saying, don't watch Bad Bunny. Put him on. What difference does it make? Who cares? Don't make him the forbidden fruit. That's what they did to Candace. That's what Ben Shapiro doesn't understand. Why is Ben Shapiro the genius even doing any of this? If you want to get famous, have Ben Shapiro talk against you. You'll be the hottest thing in the world. He talks about people. People love you because they can't stand him so much. You've got these people. How about all these? Remember the day? Go back online. Remember the day at the White House when the influencers met, where they were handed that Kinko's binder with all the Epstein stuff? Remember those people? None of them are commenting on Epstein. Why? Because they're bought off. They're bought off and controlled, and you know the story. Come on, stop it. Stop it. It's just... I love when people all of a sudden say, do you know there's an Israeli lobby? No shit. Really? You mean there's a lobby? Wait. You mean wait. You mean there are people who pay money to influence politicians? He goes, yeah, but it's a foreign country. Wait a minute. You mean that a foreign country can affect our government? You're kidding me. Where have you been? Yes. Yeah. You didn't know this? Well, I'm just saying. And I want to tell somebody, what's the next line? You're telling people the same thing. Tell them what's the story. Tell people about where money's going that you don't get. Try a new way. What happens is there's a group of people. Let me tell you how it works. And I mean this with all due respect. I love these folks. One of Judge Napolitano comes up, right? He great guy, love him, great friend of mine. And he has General Colonel McGregor, Doug McGregor. And people say, well, that's great. Well, he's got great numbers. Let me do this. Well, I'll get McGregor on. Or I'll mimic him. What's he talking about? He's talking about Israel. Well, I'm going to talk about Israel too. Why? Get the numbers. Now, I'm not saying people who are doing it don't really believe in it, but I'm using this as an example. Could be Fauci, could be COVID, could be whatever it is. And they end up repeating what they think is going to be the particular show that people want. and they lose sight of any originality because they're pushing a narrative versus what they believe in. I'm telling you what I believe in. I'm not pushing anything about Candace because I don't put her stuff up. I say watch her stuff. Let me tell you what's going on in the world and why she's right or wrong or whatever. I just don't understand this. So I'm going to be a little different, and I'm not going to be as left or right as you think. I am an absolute a political atheist when it comes to this. But I'm telling you something. I know for a fact that you only take flack when you're over the target. And we are being told that we can't discuss certain things. And goddamn it, we're going to say whatever we want, whenever we want, for as long as we want. And hope to God that the President and the First Amendment hold us to be true. Okay? We hope to God this is true. Now, a couple of things, dear friends, very, 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 very critically. Let me remind you of a couple of things. First and foremost, there has been a kindness that you have. There is a kindness that you have shown, which is so terrific, not only to me, but my beloved wife. And she has been just wonderful. By the way, she celebrated a birthday recently. And oh, yes. And we had to, we were celebrating I'll let her tell you where she's been and what she's doing. She's working harder than you can imagine. But please follow her at linswarriors.org. And right now, there's something which may not, I'll put it this way, it's very important. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Did you know this? Did you know what's happening? Do you know that there are young women going into emergency rooms who are suffering concussions, attempted asphyxiation, strangulation, very, very violent stuff because a lot of young people are watching what we used to call porn and thinking, oh, this is a way to do it? Yes. And there's a violence. There is this violence that's being promoted. And kids are going out and girls are being knocked out. Everybody wants to choke everybody out because of MMA. Nobody's going to be talking about that. Lynn's Warriors talks about that. If you have children in particular, young girls and boys too, get to the bottom of this. That's just one little thing that's being affected by our young people. Not only that, digital predation and the like. So that's that. So thank you for that. Please like the video. Liking is very critical. I know it sounds pathetic to say, please like my video, but it's true. It puts us on the HOV lane into the next stratosphere. I've got some questions for you that will appear afterwards. I thank you for that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your wonderful support. Thank you for being with us. These names, Yulu Wehi says, happy birthday, Queen Warrior. And Lionel, do you trust your gut? Do you study all the sides? How do you do it? High frequency channel, my friend. Thank you. Well, thank you as well. I love things that don't make, I like things that seemingly are inconsistent. F. Scott Fitzgerald said the sign of a great mind is to be able to handle two or more seemingly inconsistent ideas in your mind simultaneously and not lose your mind at the same time. That's a hand fart for you, and thank you. All right, my friend. So thank you. Sign up. Subscribe. Don't forget to follow Mrs. Ellis. Subscribe to her at Lynn's Warriors. We will see you again tomorrow. It's going to be about 7 degrees, which is very nice. Nice, nippy. Whatever that means. And by the way, what is the reason for that? Geoengineering. Yes. Nucleated. We'll talk about that. Our good friend Dane Wickington will join us soon. Tonight, from 1 to 5 a.m., Monday through Friday, check me out on WABC, 77 WABC. Yeah, there's an app, 77 WABC. Sometimes these folks will call up. They went crazy last night. I told one, I said, I don't give a damn about diversity. I want excellence. Oh my God. Boom. I can do that in my sleep. Dear friends, thank you. Have a great and a glorious day. I seriously mean that. Until we meet again, my friends, this is Lionel with you, asking you, beseeching, imploring, and requesting that you comment as you see fit.